Welcome to Manflow Yoga. It's yoga for guys.
Hey guys, what's up? Dean from Manful Yoga. Today I'm going to run you through a yoga session that's designed for a post-workout, for a post-cardio. Huge problem with athletes is they'll go out and they'll do their cardio and they won't do any stretching afterwards. They won't do any stretching before. They'll just go straight into it and no recovery whatsoever. No stretching, no post-stretch, no cool down. And that's a huge mistake. You know, you don't want to go from doing something 100% to not moving at all. That's not a good transition for your body. You really want to have that cool down session involved. And this is so important to the extent that I would argue that it's more beneficial for you to spend 30 minutes doing your cardio, running, rowing machine, biking, and 30 minutes doing your stretching, if you were given 1 hour, than it is to take 45 minutes doing cardio and only 15 minutes stretching. Ideally for me, when I like to go running, I do a 5-minute warm-up run, and that's when you really start to figure out what's going on in your body. Like maybe my quads are sore today, maybe my calves are feeling a little funny today, and then you take 10 minutes to stretch, and then you go into your real workout. Then you go into the real cardio, the real hard part of your session. And then when you finish, you take 20 more minutes, or 25, 30 minutes to do your cool down session, and you feel so much better in the morning. Now, it's hard to do this because no one has that much time to work out. But I would argue that, again, that 30 minutes with stretching and 30 minutes with the actual cardio is more beneficial than just spending it all doing cardio if you have that time. So let's get straight into this. So let's imagine I just went for a run. I did some running, did some biking. First thing I like to do after that is a ragdoll pose. Your hamstrings are so involved whenever you're running, especially in biking too. So I like to just do a ragdoll pose here. You bend your knees slightly, let your chest come down to meet your thighs. Wrap your right hand around your left elbow and your left elbow around your right elbow. Left hand around your right elbow. And just let your head hang loose here. Let your body drape down. Try and straighten your body. Bringing your hips up a little higher, letting your head sink down. Keeping your chest rooted into your thighs. And just feeling all the release in your lower back. Feeling your hamstrings start to tug a little bit. Feeling a little strain in your calves, hamstrings. And then do this for about, I'd say, a minute here. So we're just going to hang out here. As you're in this, try and bring your body a little higher. So try and bring your hips up a little higher. But make sure that you're keeping your thighs and your chest touching here. So bend your knees as much as you need to ensure that happening. And then just breathe deep. Let your head hang loose. And you're looking through your legs at the back wall. 5 more breaths. 3, 2, 1. Come up. Bring your feet together. Let's come all the way up. Rise all the way up. And mountain pose. Bring your hands above your head. Maybe feel how you feel a little different in your legs. Maybe in your chest and your back. And let's do a slight back bend here. Reach up and back. And then forward fold. Hands all the way to the ground. Half lift. Bring the crown of your head as far as you can forward. Bring your sides of your back long. Hands are on your shins. Head straight down. And then come down back. All the way into a front leaning rest position. Bring your body forward. Lower down all the way. Chaturangas till your chest hits the ground. Flip your toes. Start to bring your chest forward. Press the tops of your toes into the ground. And then reach up. And come into Cobra. Pressing tops, toes in the ground. Reaching your head forward. And then press back into a down dog. Exhaling. So here you can pedal your legs a little bit, back and forth. And again, this is ideal This session is ideal for if you just went for a run, if you did some cardio. I really like to do this after every session. I don't think I ever do a run without doing like a 20-minute cool down yoga session. So I'm trying to keep this a little short today. Bring your right leg up, bring it forward, meet your hands, and then come down, kneel with your back leg. Bring your hands to your thigh, and start to lean forward. A little hip flexor action here. Start to open your hips up. Bring your knee forward. Again, we're not going to press up into the Crescent Warrior right away. So you can bring your knee over your ankle here when you're in this position. If you're maybe a little more challenged, you can arch your back and look up and back. So it'll bring your hip open a little bit more. Just make sure when you're bending in your back that you're not just crunching your back together, that you're still reaching up and back. And then come forward. We're going to switch legs. So right leg's coming back, left leg's coming forward now. Let your right knee come to the ground, flip your toes and your back foot. Come up, bring your hands to your left thigh and lean forward. Tops of toes in the back are on the ground. Bringing your left hip back and your right hip forward. And your hands are resting on your thigh. Now start to arc, look straight up to the sky. Start to bring your back up and then arch it back. So again, not just crunching your spine, but trying to get it up and away from your front leg. Come forward, bring your hands, and then bring your left leg back, meet your right foot, and let's lower down again, chaturangas, all the way down to the ground. Flip your toes, and raise your chest off the ground, trying to bring your chest forward and up at the same time, making sure that you're pressing your tops of the toes into the ground, using your lower legs, your leg strength here, and then pressing down, exhaling into the down dog. Look forward, bring your left leg up, bring your right leg up. Now we're going to spread your legs. If you want to do this on the mat, that's cool too. Just like this. Spread your legs. Look straight up, hands come behind your back like this. Look straight up, and then start to come forward. Keeping your lower back strong here and engaged. Walking your hands out. Again, we're doing this is intended to be a cool down session. So this isn't something that you want to force right now. We're not going for, you're not trying to set new records in flexibility right now. The point of this is recovery. So you don't want to strain too much here. This is supposed to feel really good. And when we talk about surrendering in yoga, and we talk about just letting gravity do the work, this is one of those sessions where you definitely just want to let gravity do the work and try and avoid using your core muscles too much, avoid squeezing your muscles to make the posture a little more intense. This is really just for recovery. This is intended, the intention of this is that you do a workout and then doing this will prevent the soreness that normally occurs from your workout from happening the day after. Let's go to one side now. So bend your right knee. Come to your left heel on the ground. And then start to open up your hamstring a little bit. Three, two, one. We're going to switch, come back to the center, feet just like they were before, And then bend your left knee, bring your right heel to the ground, and press your right heel into the ground. Come up if you can. This is a little more challenging. If you want, you can come up on to balance. Try and bring your back in line with the ground. Look straight up, and then press this heel into the ground. That makes it a little more difficult. Or if you just want to use this again just to recover, that's fine. A few more breaths. 3, 2, 1. Bring your right foot back. Come back to center. Realign your back so that it's parallel with the ground. And start to lift up. Hands to the lower back. Bring your right leg into your left leg. Now let's go to another cool down. Alright. So we've done hamstrings a lot so far. A little bit of hips. I'm doing a little more intense hip posturing right now. Just drop your right leg back. Come to this modified front leaning rest position. Engage your core forward. Make sure this knee is over your ankle. And you're going to come straight into warrior, crescent warrior. So it's going to try and open up your hip flexors a little bit more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your hands. Bring your left foot back now. Bring your right foot up. And same thing again. Bring your core up a little bit. Get ready for a crescent warrior. Make sure that your back foot is pressing back, so that your heel is pressing back toward the wall, and that this leg is flexed and it's off the ground. Come up, core's engaged, reach up. Few deep breaths, knee over ankle. Lift your toes off the ground for a little bit more resistance. 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Bring your right leg back. And come to down dog. So just press your heels back into the ground and try and feel that relief in your calves, in your hamstrings, and your lower back. And this is really where, in your lower back, your hamstrings, your calves, that's where it really hurts when you're running. That's where people get injuries. And they get them because they have hamstrings that aren't very flexible. They have tight hamstrings, and that causes lower back pain. So down dog is really good for alleviating that pain that's generally associated with running in your lower back. Let's do 5 breaths here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale everything in. Exhale, lion's breath, everything out. Come forward into front leaning rest position. Bring your hands a little closer together. Lower down chaturangas, elbows tucked into sides, all the way down to the ground. Feet flip, press tops of feet into the ground. Come up into cobra. Squeeze your shoulders together in the back. Bring your chest up a little higher. And then push back into down dog. Come into all fours, so tabletop position. Something I like to do here, reach your right hand out, stick your left hand back. We normally do this for a warm-up for your core and to start lengthening your arm and your back leg. But now we're going to do it for a quad stretch. So bend your left leg, reach your right arm around, grab the outside, and then push into your hand. So it's a modified dancer pose. And then bring your shoulders back, bring your right shoulder back, and try and bring your chest open to the right wall. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release mindfully, and then come back to center. Now when you're in this pose, you want to make sure that you're maintaining the curve in your back. You don't want to start to crunch up like this. You want to make sure that you're keeping that nice, strong lower back. So it's second side, sorry. So now your left arm is going to come out. Turn sideways like you're going to shake someone's hand. Stick your right leg back. Come up a little bit in your chest. Core is engaged. Bend your right leg. Reach around and grab the outside of your left. Was that my right or my left? My right leg. And then bring your chest open and push your right leg into your left hand. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Right leg sticks back, left arm reaches forward, and come back to tabletop. Now we're going to do 2 more stretches before we finish up. Like I said, it's going to be a quick one. Come back to a down dog. Reach your right leg up. Bring your right knee to meet your right elbow to meet your left hand. Half pigeon. It's really good for your glutes. Really good cool down position. Really good to do at the end of a yoga session, or here in this case, the end of a cardio session. So first I like to sit up here. Maybe sit down a little lower if you can. If it doesn't hurt your knee, that's fine. And then start to bring your chest forward. Try to bring your butt closer to the ground. And then walk out, keeping your chest up, keeping your spine strong, engaged. First your forearms touch, and then your head touches. If you can't do this yet, the key to this is breathing. The key to this is staying in control. So we do 10 breaths here. This is a really good recovery pose, really good stretch. Three more breaths. Start to come out of this and bring your hands in front of you. Root your back foot. Reach your right leg up all the way out. Push it back as far as you can toward the wall. And then lower down. Now bring your left leg up. Bring your left knee to your left elbow, left foot to your right hand. Lower down. Bring your right leg as far as you can back. Use your tops of your toe to kind of walk it back there. Make sure that your toe is pointed back toward the back wall. Engage your back here. Make sure you have a strong back. Once you have a nice strong base here, start to lean forward, walk your body forward. First your forearms touch. Try and keep your back as straight as possible here. And then let your forehead touch. And let the body weight, you really want to let your left butt, your left seat bone, you really want to have that come as close to you as you can to the ground. That's where the focus of the stretch is. That's where the difficulty of the stretch comes from. And again, if you're having trouble here, you just need to breathe. deep breaths. If you have to do it rhinoceros when you do it at first, I know I did. That's fine. Just remember to try and stay in as much control as possible.
Do 8 more breaths here. Three more.
Start to come up. Bring your hands in front of you. Root your back foot. You're going to bring your left leg up, extend it as far back as possible to the back wall. Hopefully it feels a little more stretched out now. Now we're going to do one more thing, two more stretches. First I like to do, I don't really know if it has a name or not, but I like to do it for the calves, and I like to do it for the muscles right above your shins. Because I get shin splints, and I really like to stretch these muscles out that cause the pain that causes shin splints, that tension between your muscles and your bones. Walk your leg back a little bit here, your right leg, as much as you can, and then sink back, kind of. Use your hands to help you balance here. Press your left heel into the ground, and then try to drag it back. And you're not going to move at all because you're pressing your heel into the ground, but it's going to cause a very nice, a very intense sensation in your calf. So just 10 seconds here. 5, 3, 1, release. And now I like to press my toes forward. And you feel a nice little stretch right in here. Press your toes as far as you can forward. Five more deep breaths. Last breath. Bend your knee slightly just to come out of this. Walk your feet back together. We're going to switch now. So bring your left leg back, bring your right leg up, heel to the ground. Start to walk your left knee back a little bit. Straighten your right knee. Press your heel into the ground. As hard as you can. Well, not as hard as you can here. This is more, like I said, not for an intense stretching session. This is more a cool down. So to the extent that it feels good, press your heel into the ground. About 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're going to reach your toes forward, press them toward the ground in front of you, and feel the nice stretching sensation right in here. Five more breaths. And then start to bend your knee a little bit. Inch your legs a little closer together to come out of the pause. And then we're going to do, if you have something that you can use. If you have a strap or if you have like a rubber band, like a rubber band that they use in physical therapy, it's a good time to get that out. Like this. And lay down on your back. Bring the strap to the middle of your foot. Lean back. So we have a side visual here. Lean back. And try and point your heel toward the ground. I'm sorry, point your heel toward the ceiling. And point your toes toward you. Do this lightly. You do this for about 10 seconds. I'm sorry, 10 breaths, 10 deep breaths. This is really good. This is really good relief for your calves. And then we're going to transition to an IT band stretch from here. And then if you have a band in your hand like this, if you start to move your leg over, you'll start to feel the shift in the stretch. It'll move from your calf into your IT band, from here to your hip. And that's also another muscle that not a muscle, sorry, a tendon that we rarely stretch. Feels really good. And runners especially have very tight IT bands. This is something that you want to stretch if you're an active runner. And then let your leg come all the way to the ground. Reach your left arm over, point it toward the left spine wall or whatever wall that is that your left arm is pointing. Bring your knee up. Bring your knee into the ground. Keep your left shoulder on the ground, and then this will provide a nice stretch for your lower back over here. Two more breaths. Release. Bring your left leg back. Now we're going to do the opposite leg. So get your band back out. Bring it to the middle of your foot. Straighten your right leg now. Heel pointed toward the ceiling. Toes pointed toward the ground. 5 breaths here, and we're going to transition to the IT band stretch. When you're doing this, you want to make sure that your lower back is in the ground, that you're not arching up off the ground like this, that your lower back is rooted into the ground. Start to bring it to the side. Feel a nice stretch right from here to your hip bone. Make sure you're keeping your legs straight here. If your leg's not straight, you're not going to feel that stretch. So take as much slack as you need on whatever you're using to help your leg get over there. Your leg fall all the way. Get your right arm out, and your shoulder to the ground. Bring your right knee up. Press your right knee into the ground. And then feel some nice release in your lower back over here. the middle. Sit up however you want. And one more stretch. Just a simple forward fold. Seated. Forward fold, sorry. Yeah, seated. Reach your arms straight up and then reach them as far as you can forward. Grab your toes, grab your shins, ankles, toes. And use this as an opportunity to stretch your lower back. So you can, there's a couple things you can do here. You can reach yourself as far as you can forward. Try and bring your knees down. Bring your head down to touch your knees. You can also round your back here, grab your toes and try and push your back as much as you can to the lower wall, to the back wall. And you can also do the opposite. You can bring your chest as far as you can forward and try and bring your lower back to be as straight as possible, to be perpendicular with the ground. Add more breaths if you want. Okay, so that was meant to be a cool down for a cardio session. You can do that for anything you want. You can do it for running, swimming, cycling, for lacrosse practice, football practice. I think it's fantastic. I think that one of the reasons why I was able to be so in shape or able to run so much was because I spent so much time doing not just the cardio, but also the cooling down. So again, I hope you learned something. I hope you take this into your cool down, into your cool down sessions. I hope you start taking more, or at least placing more importance on your cool down sessions. Thanks for watching, and namaste.